He came instead of me. Part 1. Day 1. The journey to the country house. Summer. A warm wind plays in the leaves of the trees. A blue sedan confidently rolls along a country highway. At the wheel is Lia. Next to her is her husband, Alex. And in the back seat, their dog Nero quietly snores. They are Lia and Alex Harper, a young, happy couple. She is an interior designer. He is an office worker. The city is tired, and so are they. So they decided to escape, even if just for a couple of days. To the country house, to silence, to peace. The radio plays something relaxing. The scenery outside the window looks like a postcard. Lia and Alex talk about life, about dreams, about what if. Everything feels perfect. But a sudden sound breaks, a hit, a screech. Everything changes in an instant. An old man jumps out from the turn. Lia doesn't have time. The car hits him. The silence is pierced by a scream, the screech of tires. Then, nothing. Alex jumps out of the car. "Lia, are you okay?" She is in shock. Her hands tremble. Her face is pale. She can't move. Alex runs to the body. He kneels. He checks for a pulse. Silent. "He's dead," he says in a hollow voice, his gaze fixed. The wind stirs the branches of the trees. There's no one around, just them. Lia freezes. We killed him." Alex gets up. "We can't call the police." "Lia, understand. If they find out it was us, we're done." He looks at her, confidently. "I'll take him to the forest and bury him. Everything will be fine. I promise." Lia is silent. She just nods, tears in her eyes. The three of them are no longer who they were that morning. There's a dead body in the trunk now. Alex drives, silent. They arrive at the house, drop off their things. "I'll be back soon, my love." "Don't worry," Alex says, getting back into the car. And drives off. He's driving fast, very fast, too fast. Something flickers in the rearview mirror. Alex stares. His heart stops. In the back seat sits the same old man, alive, looking straight into Alex's eyes. Alex loses control. The car swerves. A rollover. Crash. Part 2. Continuation. The end of day 1. Everything is swallowed by darkness. Time drags on. The clock shows. 3 hours have passed. Alex still hasn't returned. Lia unpacks their things, tries to distract herself. She cooks dinner. But deep inside, everything tightens with anxiety. Suddenly, a dull knock at the door. She approaches, opens it. On the doorstep, Alex, calm, smiling. "So, is everything fine?" "Where's the car?" Lia asks, staring at him in confusion. "I took care of everything properly," Alex replies in an even voice. "The car broke down. It was towed away by a recovery truck." He steps closer. "Let's just forget about it." They sit at the table, have dinner in silence. Only the clinking of cutlery and the drip of a kitchen faucet fill the room. Then, quiet. Lia and Alex head to bed. Part 3. Day 2. Not everything is as it seems. Lia woke up. Her body felt heavy, her head cloudy. The echo of yesterday's horror still lingered in the air, but the room looked, as usual, ordinary, warm, homely. Alex sat nearby, on the edge of the bed. His hand rested on her thigh. He was smiling, his usual, warm, soothing smile. "Good morning," he said softly. "How are you?" Lia stretched, took a deep breath. "How am I?" "Honestly, I can't say I feel great. There's still heaviness in my soul. But you're here. I am calm." Alex smiled slightly. His fingers gently brushed a strand of hair from her face. "Don't worry," he said softly. "Everything will be fine. It's all behind us. Do you remember how we dealt with it?" Lia nodded, but in his calmness there was something too precise, too controlled. Maybe he's just holding it together. Maybe it's shock. He's alive. He's here. Everything's fine. Probably. But then her gaze fell down on his clothes, traces of blood. Lia froze. Alex noticed her gaze and calmly, without blinking, wiped the stain with his hand. "It's not yours," he said quietly. "It's okay. I cut myself a little. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm always rushing things." Leo wanted to ask something, but he quickly changed the topic. "You must be hungry. Let me cook something for you. You're tired too." "Yeah. Okay," Leo replied. They went to the kitchen together, had breakfast, laughter, nerves, an attempt to forget. Everything was almost normal. Part 4, Day 2, Gradual Realization. All day, Lia tried to act as usual. She did routine things, smiled, drank coffee. But inside, something felt off. Not specific, not obvious, but the feeling. As if the world had shifted slightly, a bit foreign. Alex was nearby, caring, gentle. But his movements became too perfect, his smile too practiced. They went out for a walk. The forest nearby was beautiful. The sunlight broke through the foliage. Alex extended his hand, as always. He was her protector, her support, and yet, on the hill, Lia noticed how he gazed down too long. At the valley, silent, strange, sinister. "Is everything okay?" she asked, peering into his profile. He turned. A smile. Lia flinched. In his eyes was something cold, something alien. "Everything is fine," he said. His hand touched her shoulder. But she felt his fingers squeeze slightly, not with tenderness, but as if restraining. "Do you think I've changed?" Lia asked with a smile, trying to lighten the mood. "Are you hiding something, Alex?" He looked at her. His face became soft again, warm. "No, Lia. You're just overthinking. Everything will be fine, I promise." She tried to believe. Part 5, Night 2, Strangeness becomes obvious. Evening. The house is wrapped in calm. Lia is in the armchair, preparing dinner, but inside, the strange feeling grows stronger. Alex is still the same, calm, quiet, but Lia notices his movements just a bit too smooth, as if he's trying to move according to a script. His expressions almost rehearsed, familiar, yet foreign. Alex enters the kitchen, says nothing. He simply walks up behind her and hugs her. Lia feels, from his body, a strange icy cold. Her shoulders shudder. Something is wrong. Terribly wrong. She wants to ask, wants to speak. But he whispers in her ear, "You shouldn't think about it. Everything will be as it was before. I love you. Let's go to bed." They lie down, make love. But this time, Lia feels something different, foreign, strange, and yet magnetic. She doesn't understand, doesn't realize, but she feels this is not the Alex she once knew. Afterwards, silence. They wish each other good night and fall asleep. Part 6, Night 2, late hours around 3:40. Lia wakes up to a strange noise somewhere downstairs, the sound like a rustle. She sits up. Next to her, Alex, asleep, or pretending. Lia gently wakes him. He stirs awake. Together they head downstairs. On the ground floor, the front door, wide open. Cold air rushes in, near the trash bin. Rats scurry. An entire swarm. They rummage, squeak, scratch. Alex irritably shoos them away. "Probably the wind," he says. Or Nero. "Don't worry, it's just rats. Come on, let's go back to bed." Lia doesn't respond. She only nods. He hugs her, and they go back upstairs, lie down. Sleep. Part 7. Morning of the third day. Morning. Lia wakes up. She turns. Alex isn't there. The pillow smells disgusting, a rotten smell. Something foul has seeped into the fabric. But Lia dismisses it as exhaustion and yesterday's nightmare. She goes downstairs. Alex is in the kitchen, cooking breakfast. He smiles, kisses her. They sit at the table. Later, they head to the river. Swim, sunbathe, laugh. Everything is almost fine again. Almost. Part 8, Night 3, Nero and the Disappearance. The next night, Lia woke up again to strange sounds coming from their house. Alex wasn't by her side. She got out of bed and went to the kitchen, where the strange noises seemed to originate. Upon entering the kitchen, she saw the following. The door to the house was wide open, and near the trash bin stood Nero, rummaging through it. Lia called to him, but he didn't react. As she approached, she noticed that Nero was licking something from the trash bin. Lia decided to take the bin away, but Nero suddenly lunged at her, and with a rage she had never seen in him before, grabbed the bin and dragged it outside into the yard. Lia followed him, but Nero vanished. She called for him, shouted, but it was useless. Adding to her worry was Alex's absence. Lia decided to call him, but his number was disconnected. At that moment, Alex suddenly appeared behind her and hugged her. Surprised, Lia asked, "What were you doing? Why did you leave? It's late." Alex replied that he had been talking to a friend on the phone. Lia, slightly tense, remarked, "I called you, but your number was disconnected." Alex responded, "My phone accidentally fell into the water and stopped working." "But it's no big deal," he added with a light smile. "We came here to relax, not to chat on the phone with someone. Come on, let's go back inside." They returned to the house and went back to bed. Part 9. Night 4. Fishing and Unfamiliar Feelings. In the morning, Lia woke up, but Alex was once again not by her side. She called for him, but there was no response. The smell in the bed had become unbearably unpleasant, and Lia decided to wash the bedding. Heading downstairs to the kitchen, she noticed breakfast prepared on the stove with a note from Alex. He wrote that he loved her very much, appreciated her, and wished her a pleasant meal. The note also mentioned that he had gone fishing. Lia felt touched and sat down to eat breakfast, but suddenly a thought struck her. Alex had never been a fisherman and had never told her he was interested in fishing. However, she chose not to worry about it and instead felt happy that Alex had decided to find a new hobby. But she was also unsettled by Nero's absence. Since the incident with the trash bin, the dog hadn't appeared. The bin itself was back in place. Lia approached it and looked inside. It was empty. Probably Alex threw out the trash, she thought, and went about her day. Alex returned in the evening, and Lia met him at the door, but didn't see any fish. She decided to ask, "You went fishing. Where's the fish you caught? Why have you never told me you enjoy fishing?" Alex smirked and replied that he was new to it and hadn't managed to catch anything yet. They had dinner, and then, upon entering the bedroom, they made love. Lia felt something new, something she hadn't experienced before. She liked it, but at the same time, it made her slightly uneasy. She didn't dare talk about it, not wanting to argue with Alex. Part 10. Night 4. The Night Knock. The night passed peacefully. Lia and Alex finally managed to sleep without any incidents. Waking up in the morning, they were beside each other. Together they went to prepare dinner and planned to head to the beach. But then Alex said he needed to step out for a bit. He mentioned meeting a local fisherman who often comes here to fish. This person could teach Alex something new. "All right, go ahead, dear. I'll wait for you at the beach," Lia said, kissing him. Alex left, and Lia continued getting ready. 4 hours later, when Alex still hadn't returned, Lia noticed Nero at the doorstep. He ran up to her and started whining. Lia petted him, thinking the dog was hungry. She brought him inside and prepared dinner. It was already around 9 in the evening, and Alex still hadn't come back. Lia left a love note and a portion of dinner for him on the table, then went to the bedroom. Time passed, and it was already around midnight when Lia began to drift off to sleep. And suddenly, in the stillness of the night, she heard a knock at the door. Lia jolted awake. She quickly got up and went downstairs. Approaching the door, she looked through the peephole but saw no one. Opening the door, she looked around. Still no one. Silence. Maybe she imagined it. Lia closed the door and went back to the bedroom, consumed by a strange thought. What was that? Part 11, Night 5, The Mystery of Darkness. At night, Lia was once again awakened by strange rustling sounds coming from the kitchen. It was around 4 a.m. She got out of bed and, going downstairs, saw the front door wide open and Alex, naked, standing facing the wall in complete darkness. Lia turned on the light and shouted, "Alex, where have you been? What are you doing?" He didn't respond. As soon as Lia approached Alex, Nero ran out of the hallway, barking and growling at her. Then he grabbed the trash bin and ran out of the house. Lia approached Alex, and as soon as she touched him, he simply collapsed and lay unconscious. Lia didn't know what to do. She tried to wake him, but it was useless. She decided to call an ambulance. She ran to the bedroom for her phone, returned, but Alex was no longer there. She didn't understand what was happening. She began shouting and calling for him, as well as Nero, but neither responded. Grabbing a flashlight, she ran outside. It was pitch dark. Lia shone the flashlight in different directions and accidentally pointed it at a figure. She thought it was Alex. She aimed the light again and froze in shock. Yes, it was Alex, but he looked very strange, standing naked again, motionless, in the middle of the beach. "Alex, what's wrong with you? Come back to the house." He turned and Lia was stunned. His eyes were gone. They were black, like tar. At that moment, Nero ran up, bit her leg, and whining, ran back into the house. Lia fell but didn't pay much attention to it. She wanted to bring Alex back home. Then Alex ran up to her, as if nothing had happened, and asked, "Darling, what's wrong? What happened? Why are you lying here? Where's the blood from?" Still in shock, she replied, "What was that, Alex? Why were you standing, staring at the wall? Where were you? Why are you naked? What happened to your eyes? What is going on? Can you explain it to me?" Alex replied, "I don't understand what you're talking about. I just came to the house but decided to take a swim, so I took off my clothes. Let's go inside, I'm hungry, and you need to treat your wound. We need to calm down." "Everything's fine, my love." Lia was utterly confused, but agreed, and they went back to the house. She added that they needed to take the dog to the vet. Something was wrong with him, and also mentioned that they were running out of groceries and should go to the nearest store to restock. Alex treated her wound, and they went to sleep. Part 12, Night 5, Morning and a New Acquaintance. In the morning, as light filtered through the window, Lia and Alex woke up together. Lia once again tried to start a conversation about the strange events of the previous night, but Alex didn't want to dwell on the topic. Quietly, with a slight smile, he said, "Everything's fine, my love. You're just worrying. It's stress. Let's not dwell on the past. You know nothing serious happened, right? It's just imagination. Don't worry. We're on vacation. Everything will be okay." Lia didn't argue. Suddenly, an idea struck her. "Alex, let's take Nero to the vet. And while we're at it, let's stop by the store. We're out of groceries. Plus, I need to pick up some pads." Alex nodded. "Of course, we'll get everything done. By the way, I met a guy who can give us a ride. He'll be here any minute." Lia hesitated for a moment and then asked, "What about our car?" "Don't worry," Alex replied. "It'll be ready soon. The problem is serious, and we need to wait a bit, but it'll be fine by the end of our vacation." Lia nodded, but still felt a slight unease. They put a muzzle on Nero and waited for the ride. After a while, Alex's acquaintance arrived. He was a tall man with short hair and a confident stride. His name was Derek. Alex greeted him, and they got in the car. On the way, Lia decided to ask, "How did you and Alex meet?" Derek glanced at her and replied, "We met here a couple of days ago. I was fishing nearby. I had a friend, Billy. He was a fisherman too, and we often went fishing together. But he's gone now." Lia felt a pang of sadness. "I'm sorry to hear that. What happened to him?" Derek sighed softly. "He was hit by a truck. The driver fell asleep at the wheel and didn't see him on the road. There was nothing left of Billy." Lia felt uneasy but decided not to continue the conversation. At that moment, Derek's phone unexpectedly rang. He brought it to his ear, said something, and hung up. "Damn, again," Derek muttered irritably. "Alex, can I borrow your phone? I need to call back." Lia offered hers, and Derek accepted it. Calling someone, he briefly thanked them and returned the phone. "Thank you, Lia. Without you, I wouldn't have managed." Lia smiled. "No problem. You're helping us too. We should definitely meet up for lunch sometime when you have the time." Shaking his head slightly, Derek replied, "Thanks, but I have a lot to do. I'll definitely stop by someday." When they arrived, the first thing they did was visit the nearest vet. Thank goodness he was there. The vet examined Nero, said the dog was fine, prescribed tablets, and recommended giving them with food. Afterwards, they headed to the store for groceries. Lia bought everything she needed and returned to the car. When they got back home, Lia once again suggested lunch to Derek, but he declined as before. He thanked them and said he would definitely stop by later. Alex approached Lia, hugged her, kissed her, and said he needed to help Derek with something. "Don't worry," Alex said. "I'll be quick. I'll be back for dinner." Lia, slightly anxious, nodded, but felt a lingering unease deep inside. "Just not like last time, okay?" she said, looking at him with concern. Alex approached her, hugged her, and kissed her again. "My love, don't worry. Everything will be fine. I love you very much." And with those words, he left. Part 13. A whisper through the door. Returning to the house, Lia unpacked the grocery bags. Afterward, she decided to spend a few hours on the beach. A little later, the sun had already begun to set, and she decided to return home. After taking a shower and settling on the couch to watch TV, she noticed the screen wouldn't turn on. Checking the outlet, she confirmed everything was fine and the TV cord was plugged in, but the device still refused to work. Deciding not to waste time, Lia went to heat up dinner for Alex, hoping he would come home soon. 3 hours later, already lying in bed ready to sleep, Lia suddenly heard a call from an unknown number. She answered the phone and heard a familiar, nervous voice. "Hi, it's me, Derek. I'm the one who gave you a ride today." The voice sounded extremely choppy and anxious. At that moment, someone started knocking loudly on the door. Derek heard the knocking through the phone and said in horror, "Lia, don't open the door. Listen to me carefully. You are in great danger. The one who is with you, he's not who he claims to be." The connection broke. Lia shouts into the phone, "Hello, hello, who's there?" There's no answer. She is in complete shock, not understanding what is happening. At that moment, Alex's voice sounds from the other side of the door. "Lia, open up. It's me, Alex." And he starts kicking the door hard. Lia runs to the door and says, "Wait, I'm coming." And then the phone rings again. Lia puts the phone to her ear again and hears, "Run, Lia." "Wait, I don't understand. Explain what's happening." "Alex is dead," the voice replies. "That's not him behind the door. Listen to me. I've already called the police. They're on their way." At this moment, Alex outside loses patience. "What is this nonsense? Open the door, Lia. It's me, Alex. Have you lost your mind?" The voice on the phone continues. "Lia, if you open the door, it will be the last thing you ever do." Alex yells from outside. "Lia, who are you talking to? Is that Derek? If it is, don't listen to him. He's crazy. Open the door. I'll explain everything." Lia, in complete confusion, doesn't know who to believe. Derek continues. "Listen, I'm trying to save your life. If you don't believe me, ask him something only the two of you know. He won't answer. You'll see." Lia, not knowing what to do, decides to test Derek's words. She moves closer to the door and asks quietly, "Alex, are you there?" His voice comes in reply, "Yes. Open up. What are you up to?" Tears stream down her cheeks, but she continues. "Alex, listen. I want to ask you one question. Please answer, and I'll open the door." "What questions? Just open up. Don't start with riddles. I don't have time for this," Alex replies aggressively. Lia, through tears, repeats the question. "Alex, what was my favorite color as a child? I told you." The reply, "Yellow," Alex answers, but Lia struggles to hold back tears. "No, Alex, not yellow. I never told you that. I'll ask one more question. If you answer, I'll open up. Ready?" He answers incoherently. "Ready?" Lia asks decisively. "Remember when we hid from the rain under the roof of the old house? What did you say to me then?" Silence. Lia puts the phone to her ear again and hears that Derek is still on the line. Lia's gaze falls on the peephole, and she sees a black eye, sinister and lifeless. She gets scared and falls to the floor. Nero, their dog, starts whining and growling towards the upper corner of the house, as if something is there. Lia screams in panic, "Alex! Alex, are you there?" But in response, a terrible bang comes from above. The house begins to vibrate from the force of the impact. Lia, screaming hysterically, "Alex, stop it! It's not you! Please, stop!" Derek's voice sounds on the phone. "Lia, run! He won't stop! He won't leave!" A couple of minutes later, someone breaks a window on the upper floor. Lia gets scared, opens the door, and runs away from the house. Behind her, she hears banging and Nero's barking. She calls the dog to her, but he doesn't react, and she keeps running. A little later, she looks back and sees Alex standing in the doorway of the house, not looking like himself at all. His eyes are dark, like oil. Nero stands near him, growling and barking. Alex lifts his foot and ruthlessly crushes the dog. Terrified, Lia turns and runs into the woods. She runs without stopping, looking only straight ahead, until after 15 minutes, she takes cover behind a tree to catch her breath. The phone is still dangling in her hand, and she starts talking, barely containing her fear. "Oh God, what was that? Help me, I don't know where I am. What should I do?" At that moment, her mother calls. Lia answers the phone, sobbing. "Honey, where are you? What's wrong? Why are you crying?" Lia opens her mouth to answer, but suddenly Alex runs up from behind and hits her on the head. Her head is thrown back hard against the tree, and she loses consciousness. Lia comes to on the beach, far from the house. Her head hurts, and her body still weakly resists, but she feels Alex pulling her by the hair, dragging her towards the water. In panic, she screams, "Alex, what are you doing? Leave me alone!" She tries to break free, but her strength leaves her, and she can no longer resist. Alex is silent as a stone, his face empty, as if indifferent to her pain. Lia tries again to get an answer. "Who are you? Tell me. Say something, Alex." But he continues to remain silent. The water is getting closer, and now they have almost reached it. And then Alex turns to face Lia and says, "You know, all you had to do was call the police. You hit someone because of your arguments and carelessness, and without the slightest compassion, you wanted to dump his body like trash." Lia, all in tears, replies, almost losing her voice, "We didn't mean to. It happened by accident. We didn't do it deliberately. God forgive us. Where is the real Alex? Please tell me." But Alex, as if finding only contempt in her words, turns and shouts in her face, "Shut your stupid fucking mouth, fool. You'll die here, just like your fucking boyfriend and that stupid mutt. All of you will answer for your carelessness and recklessness." At that moment, he abruptly grabs Lia and forcefully shoves her into the water. He begins to drown her, not letting her break free. Lia, though trying to fight, feels her strength leaving her. Her body becomes heavier, her breathing falters, and she is no longer able to struggle. Alex continues to hold her underwater until her movements become weaker and slower. Lia can no longer resist. Her body finally goes limp. Alex, as if satisfied by his cruelty, slowly backs away, leaving her submerged in the water, and walks off, leaving only her lifeless body on the beach. Part 14. The End. Sometime later, the police discovered a girl washed ashore by the waves. Checking her pulse, they found that she was alive. She was urgently taken to the nearest hospital. It was Lia Harper. She had fallen into a coma, and her parents sat by her side, waiting for her to awaken. Meanwhile, their car was found in the forest. The man's body was not discovered, and the vehicle was empty. But traces of blood remained on the ground. These traces revealed that the person who left them was Alex Harper, Lia's husband, the main suspect in the incident. The body of suspect Alex Harper was found deep in the forest, far from the site of his car's crash and in a completely opposite direction. How it ended up there, the experts couldn't provide an answer. Part 15, Epilogue, a couple of months later. The same highway, the same stretch of it, where Alex and Lia Harper once drove to their country house. Now Ron and Betty Millers are driving on this road, a young and cheerful couple heading to their new home on the riverbank. They are laughing, enjoying the ride, when suddenly, bam! An impact, car swerves slightly off the road. Ron, slightly shocked, turns to Betty. What was that? Did you see anyone? She, gripping the seat, looks out the window and answers anxiously. No, I don't think so. Oh God, Ron, I see someone. There, that young guy. Go check, is he breathing? Should we call an ambulance? Ron, hesitating slightly, glances at the body and says, I'll check now. He walks over to the body and after checking the pulse exclaims, Fuck, no way. Are you serious? He turns to Betty, slightly shaken, and says, Betty, bring the car over. We have a problem.